averaged 10 rebounds in a season was Al Jefferson, 06-07. Rajon Rondo was a rookie on that team. Now he's a two-time champion and an Atlanta Hawk. 2-year deal for a club that needed to get Trae Young some backcourt help. The Clippers agreed to a deal with Serge Ibaka to fill the gap left by the new Laker Montrezl Harrell. Ibaka averaged a career-high 15-plus points per game last season. Oh, there's no place like home, even if Toronto may not be able to play at home. Fred VanVleet agrees to a 4-year, $85 million deal, largest contract signed by an undrafted player in NBA history. And Carmelo Anthony, smelling roses, again agrees to re-sign with the Trailblazers. 1-year minimum deal. Portland needs scores, and Anthony can't score the basketball. Adrian Wojnarowski's phone does not have an off button, and we're all better because of it. All right, NBA, how does the Gordon Hayward deal go down with Charlotte?
Neil, in 2014, Gordon Hayward was playing with Utah. He was a restricted free agent. Michael Jordan and the Charlotte Hornets signed him to an offer sheet. Now, Utah matched it. But Gordon Hayward, his agent, Mark Bartelstein, remembered the effort that Charlotte made to try to get him back east then. Well, they were able to pull it off this time. He had talked with a number of teams about sign and trade scenarios, including his hometown Indiana Pacers. But Charlotte was able to create the salary cap space, $30 million a year, to sign Hayward to, as we reported, a 4-year, $120 million deal. He wants to have the chance again to be more of a player who's going to impact his team. His role diminished as time went on with the injuries, the emergence of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in that Celtic front court.
All right, so when Boston knows, hey, Hayward's not coming back, where does their focus turn?
Well, they got a commitment today from Tristan Thompson, free agent center from Cleveland, who they had talked on and off again about trading for a number of years. But, listen, to get the money off of their cap with Gordon Hayward this year certainly allows them some flexibility to do some things. While it was nice to have Hayward at $30 million a year, it didn't exactly financially balance out their roster to have that much money all tied into one position on the team.
All right, Rondo's got a couple rings, one with the Celtics, one with the Lakers. Now he's a Hawk. What's he bring to Atlanta?
Yeah, he goes there 2 years, $15 million. And this is an Atlanta team that wants to get tougher. They want to get more physical. They want to get better defensively. They can score the ball, built around Trae Young. Rondo can play a leadership role on a very young team, and a team that hopes, I'm not sure they're a playoff team this year, but they want to get closer to the postseason and start competing in the East, to play in the playoffs.
When it comes to the NBA, nobody works harder, nobody does it better than you, Adrian Wojnarowski.
Thanks, Neil.
But at any rate, let's go through some of the big stories on this Saturday. And the big one was after Gordon Hayward opted out of his contract, which would have paid him $34 million this upcoming season with Boston, he goes to a team that he signed an offer sheet with back in 2014, the Charlotte Hornets. It could reportedly turn into a sign and trade deal where Boston would ultimately get some cap relief by sending Gordon to Charlotte, but that is really not the big story here. We'll get more into Boston in a moment, but first, Channing Frye. Charlotte here, they draft LaMelo Ball the other day, and now they give $120 million to Gordon Hayward. Your take?
I mean, congratulations to Gordon Hayward. I think when you look at their team and their makeup, I just don't know where this fits in, though. I don't know, for $120 million, that person, if you add a $120 million player, you should automatically be put into the playoffs. And I looked at the 1 through 8, and I don't even have them 7 or 8. But just looking at their roster, you're asking Devontae Graham to do a lot. You're asking Cody Zeller to do a lot. And so for me, is Gordon Hayward going to turn back into the all-star he was in 2017 with this really young core? Now, if he does, then okay, maybe. But still, I think 120, everybody during this period gets paid, and he got paid, so congrats. But good luck to the Hornets. I want to see if they make the playoffs this year.
All right, Rick Bonello, the Charlotte Observer, is reporting that as part of this deal, the Hornets will sign and stretch Nick Batum. But the other side of this coin here is that Boston loses out on Gordon Hayward. But Tom, the reports tonight are that they may have finally gotten the center that they've been looking for, Channing's former teammate, Tristan Thompson, as well as a backup point guard, Jeff Teague. Now, a lot of details still need to work out, but what do you think of what Boston's been able to do here? And clearly they're going to work hard to try and make this a sign and trade with Charlotte to help them out.
Well, the Horford deal gives them great cap relief, not cap relief, financial relief. They save a ton of money because they're no longer in the luxury tax. That 30+ million just goes away, and he wasn't much of a contributor, as hurt as he's been. So they replace now with Tristan Thompson, and the reason they may do that sign and trade with Charlotte is in order to get a trade exception where they can then trade Thompson into that via sign and trade. I think they could do it without that. They're trying to maintain a full mid-level exception on top of getting Thompson. So you add Teague in the backcourt, you add Thompson, who, look, we've all seen what he can do rebounding the basketball and solidifying the middle, particularly on a playoff team. And they're in go-for-it mode still. Tatum and Brown really just starting to approach the early part of their prime. They've lost veteran year after year with Kyrie leaving and Horford and now Hayward, but they continue to be a very relevant team in the East, and Thompson's going to help them quite a bit.
All right. So that's the deal from Boston's standpoint. They get out from underneath the money from Gordon Hayward, and it looks like they'll get Tristan Thompson and Jeff Teague, but those details still yet to be worked out. Another big deal that got done on Saturday is the guy that maybe half the league would have loved to have. Fred VanVleet signs the largest contract for an undrafted player in NBA history. VanVleet stays with the team. He helped win its first title, getting $85 million over 4 years. Coming up on this edition of Game Time, Doug Smith, beat reporter of the Toronto Star, joins us to discuss VanVleet staying and how much it means and what else is next for the Raptors. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Hawks continue to do work. Not only did they get Gallinari on day one of free agency, but on day two, look what they do to surround Trae Young in the backcourt. Some defensive-minded guys, some leadership.